Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I just came up with a great idea for a YouTube video. Let's go ahead and mock toxic Bitcoin maximalists for their stupid ideas. That's STOOPID, stupid, and also highlight the degree to which they deny reality. So it's not just that they have heavy bags. It's not just that they behave like they're in a cult. Like, Bitcoin is a religion to so many of these people. It's not just that. They straight up deny reality, but then again and again and again, it ends up smacking them right in the face. You cannot avoid reality. You can lie to yourself, you can lie to the public, but it's still going to catch up with you. And I want to share with you a perspective from a very popular chart analyst I've been following for a really long time, and he points out a particular absurdity about Bitcoin's beliefs in this particular market cycle, and it happens to be on the topic of something I brought up probably 2 days ago, I believe, and it's just interesting stuff. And then I'll end with this headline from the Crypto Basic: Why XRP Still Relevant Over the Years, Billionaire Mike Novogratz Identifies Major Factor. And so here's a billionaire, Mike Novogratz, who has been wrong about XRP for over a decade now, and he's finally come around to understanding and accepting why we're here. He sort of gets it anyway, and he just accepts it. Like, are these Bitcoin maximalists ever going to get to that level? I'm not so convinced. But every now and then, somebody can finally understand that. Although, again, I don't think that he fully gets it. I don't think he gets XRP, that people value the technical attributes. He seems to barely even, if ever, acknowledge actual utility from XRP, but he just accepts it now. But you know what? That's baby step. A little bit of improvement there. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so he's back. Haven't had a video about this special individual for a hot minute here, but he piped up again last night. Here you go. This is Pierre Rochard. Pierre Rochard is the VP of Research at Riot Platforms. Now, Riot Platforms, this is their website right here. They's a big Bitcoin miner. Here you can see building the world's leading Bitcoin-driven infrastructure platform. So this guy's heavily biased. And it's okay to be biased. Like, I'm biased in favor of XRP. But what I don't like, and I don't really have a lot of tolerance for, is people who are intellectually honest. People who will argue things that they must know are not true purely with the attempt to deceive people who will listen, with the ultimate goal of swaying public opinion to get in line with those things that would benefit your heavy Bitcoin bags. Like, that stuff really burns my biscuits up in this bitch. And so there was this post again from the other day. XRP USD chart at the time, XRP price was $2.29, and it was down a bit, down 24% over the past month. Okay, so here's what this dipshit said. Pierre wrote, Ripple XRP, as if they're the same thing, of course. Ripple XRP, this is, conflate the two. One's a company, one's a decentralized cryptocurrency, but Ripple XRP, So he says, Ripple XRP has been collapsing ever since they got exposed. They should issue more press release partnerships. It is hard to take this guy seriously, but at least, like I said, we can have some lulls. We can have a little chuckle here and there, right? It can chuckle because this guy's one of them chuckle fucks. That's for goddamn sure. Take a look at this response, though. This hits the nail on the head. This is from XRP community member Crypto Arsenal. He shares 4 charts for, let's see, Solana, ETH, Bitcoin, and AVAX. So large cap coins here. And so he wrote to Pierre, and he simply said, you literally exposed nothing and are being disingenuous. Whole market is down, you clown. Even Bitcoin should stop eating crayons. Yes, absolutely. Indeed, that is the case. So even Bitcoin was down over 15%. Now, so you could say, oh, XRP's down even more. Yeah, but XRP also went from 49 cents to, $3.40 roughly. So it was up, at its peak over 500% since the election. So there's that, beating Bitcoin a little bit there. But of course, Pierre says that XRP's been collapsing because they got exposed. Now, what was he referencing? He said that XRP got exposed. What is it that was exposed, though? this nonsense. This is what he's referencing. This is a post from him, which, by the way, Brad Garlinghouse responded to. This is from January 23rd. So he's I do not believe that this jackass believes that what is on the screen here, which I'm about to read, is the reason that the price of XRP is down. I do not believe that he believes that. I believe that he is intellectually dishonest because it's just impossible to believe that somebody could get to the level that he is, a VP over at Riot, and he doesn't understand market dynamics at all. He doesn't understand the market moves in tandem. He doesn't know that the entire crypto asset class has been having trouble, and that includes Bitcoin and XRP and every large cap and pretty much the whole space. He doesn't know that. He thinks it's what's on the screen right here. No, that doesn't make a damn bit of sense. But anyway, here's what Pierre wrote on January 23rd this year. The biggest obstacle for the strategic Bitcoin reserve is not the Fed, Treasury, banks, or Elizabeth Warren. It's Ripple XRP. They are aggressively lobbying against the strategic Bitcoin reserve by throwing around millions at politicians desperately trying to derail it. They did the same to attack Bitcoin mining under the Biden administration. Obviously, they want to protect their marketing narratives and push for central bank digital currencies built on their platform. Okay, so he claims to believe that because he posted this and other people posted things like it in his little Bitcoin clan, I mean, it's basically a religious cult, that's basically what they're in, because they did that so convinced people that hold XRP that, oh wow, this is bad, we didn't know that, and then they sold. People are supposed to read that, take it seriously, and think, wow, that's what happened? How stupid can an MFer be? This is the dumbest crap. I don't believe that he believes this. He's just lying and hoping that he can find some small quantity of humans to trick. And it's just the most bogus narrative here. And as far as the strategic Bitcoin reserve, to be clear, Brad Garlinghouse, in speaking with Trump, he does want Bitcoin. He thinks it makes sense to have Bitcoin in a national digital asset stockpile. So Brad Garlinghouse, with what he's pushing for, it makes it more likely that Bitcoin would increasingly be held by the United States. And the United States does already hold Bitcoin, but it's Bitcoin that they seize. But if we're talking about treating it as an actual reserve asset, that's more likely because of Brad Garlinghouse, you freaking idiot stick. It's just astonishing here. So Brad did respond to that, and he said, unless you are choosing to ignore the core tenets of the President of the United States campaign, which aggressively supports American companies and technologies, our efforts are actually increasing the likelihood of a crypto strategic reserve, which includes Bitcoin, happening. Yeah, and so, oh, by the way, you know what else I don't have this pulled up, but I just remembered this. This dipshit, Pierre, he really did this, by the way. Since there was this argument that the president wants to support American-made cryptos, which is true, whether you like that or don't like it, that benefits XRP very clearly. Even though Brad Garlinghouse is pushing for an even playing field, it would help XRP since the president on his own has come to decide that. So there's this America First approach that would benefit XRP. So you know what this dipshit did? He said that even though XRP was created by Americans and in the United States, it's not an American coin because the XRP Ledger Foundation is in Estonia. So he says that it's an Estonian coin. I kid you not. I'm not kidding you. You can look this up. I don't have it pulled up for this video. That's how pathetic he is. He feels so threatened by XRP. He feels so ridiculously threatened by XRP. Like, unquestionably. And he should be, because it just works. It does what Bitcoin can. It does what Satoshi Nakamoto wished that Bitcoin could do. It just can't, because Bitcoin just doesn't scale. And it's never going to. It's never going to. Not on layer one. So the XRP Ledger Foundation. Now, mind you, any group of people can start an organization, since, mind you, XRP, it's decentralized. Any people, any country, anywhere on the planet, you can start an organization and call it XRP Group or XRP Ledger Foundation or XRP blah, 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 whatever it is. And you can incorporate in whatever country you want. That doesn't mean that XRP is then native to that country. How can this guy... See, that's the thing. He's a liar. He's a straight up liar. Now, we can laugh at him because it's so transparent and so obvious. I got to tell you, out of all the toxic Bitcoin maximalists I've come across with bogus arguments, I've never seen so many and so out there. And he's just screaming. That's because he's freaking out about this. I haven't seen one quite to this degree. I've seen people like him. Oh, yes, I have. But to this degree, like this is a new low in that sense. And it's kind of impressive in a way, frankly. But that's how these people are. And so here, and by the way, so here's another post, and I shared this one the other day. But I want to share with you content from a very impressive chart analyst I've been following for a long time, which actually is addressing effectively this. So this is the Bitcoin dominance chart on your screen. This is a screen grab shared 2 days ago. At the time, Bitcoin dominance was 61.49%. This is shared by somebody named Tech Lead to his 66,200 followers. So not a stupid individual. Used to work at Google, now at Meta, aka Facebook. So, you don't get employed there if you're a dum-dum. But then you see disingenuous crap like this. Unless he's actually drank so much of the damn Kool-Aid, he actually believes the type of stuff that's spewed in these echo chambers. But I tell you, if he does genuinely believe this, he's going to be real disappointed by the end of the cycle. But anyway, so here's what he wrote 2 days ago. Bitcoin dominance is soaring. What we're seeing is the decoupling of Bitcoin from Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and other cryptos. Every Ethereum rally is rejected with volatility, followed by outflows to Bitcoin. Solana's gains get converted into Bitcoin dominance. The market is clear, Bitcoin only. So do they really believe what they're saying here? Does he really believe this? So for a small period of time, Bitcoin dominance recently has been rising, but there's also been other periods of times where that's happened in the past and then it tanks. And I pointed this out. It happens every cycle. Bitcoin dominance eventually hits a peak and then it plummets dramatically. Happens every 4 years. But this time is different. And so I already said some things shredding that concept a couple days ago, but I want to share with you this post from chart analyst Credible Crypto, who really shreds this idea. Like, I think he does just like a great job here. He shared this with his 464,000 followers on X. So this is the market cap Bitcoin dominance percentage chart on your screen. And here's what he had to say to completely light that idea and talk. Oh, the people have decided it's Bitcoin. What did he write here? The market is clear, Bitcoin only. Oh, okay. That is going to age like a fine milk, my friends. So here's what Credible Crypto said. Bitcoin dominance now up some 60+% off the blue zone that I had identified over a year ago, and now seeing calls for a never-ending rally on Bitcoin dominance and no alt season. And I'll just pause to note for those of you not looking that the blue level that he's talking about from, actually, if you look back to 2023, you can see that Bitcoin dominance was hovering around 40%. And again, and by the way, at the time he posted this yesterday, it was at 62.14%. So that's a good increase. That's an over 50% increase from about 40% to a little over 60%. That's a pretty big increase. And so he noticed the same thing I noticed, which is that people are saying, hey, Bitcoin dominance, no alt season. It's just the dumbest freaking perspective. Here's what he said, though. It's interesting that these calls of this time is different. Because, folks, to be clear, that would be different. There's never been a time where Bitcoin dominance climbs and then it never stops. It's always been the case that Bitcoin dominance climbs, it's performing well in the market, then eventually people do want to take profit, and then they'll take those profits and plow them into other coins, and that's how you get an alt season, and eventually the price of Bitcoin comes crumbling down every 4 years. And it still trends to the upside, of course, cycle after cycle, but it does come crashing down, right? And so he says, it's interesting that these calls of this time is different always tend to come at the extremes. Where were these calls when dominance was 30% lower at the low end of the spectrum? Now, folks, that's a great question. Isn't it something that as a couple days ago, Bitcoin dominance went up and alts were having a harder time? Just literally a couple days ago. That's when these people started screaming this. Where were those comments back when Bitcoin dominance was like 40%? They didn't exist. Like when it's just moving, just you get to the extremes, it gets this high, and then they're like, oh, it's going to do the thing forever. No, markets find bottoms, markets find tops. It's the same idea as when XRP was priced at its lowest ever against Bitcoin, effectively. And throughout 2024, I just kept saying, look, I don't know exactly where the bottom is, but markets find bottoms. XRP is way undervalued compared to Bitcoin. The market's going to figure this out. These things always get corrected. And historically, that was true. I showed data going back over a decade throughout 2024, showing that anytime this happened, that was the type of moment where XRP would rocket. And it did. It sure as hell did. XRP is outperforming the market. Has been for months now. Well, same concept here. You're going to get a point where dominance is just too high. The market's going to correct here, folks. To think that doesn't happen. I mean, because for this to be the case, you just have to believe that this is the moment where Bitcoin takes off, everything else goes to zero, and we decide that we don't care about the technical attributes that other coins have that Bitcoin cannot have because it's the most technically incompetent coin that's ever been created. It is the technologically the worst coin ever created because it was the first. And so now the world just doesn't care about the stuff that can be done with any other coins that can't be done with Bitcoin, but the world says, but we only want Bitcoin. What kind of moron would actually believe that makes sense? You have to have some level of incompetency to actually believe that. So anyway, Credible Crypto says the current trend continues until it doesn't, but that doesn't mean that the trend will continue indefinitely. Sure, dominance can certainly climb higher, but ultimately what goes up must come down and vice versa. Just as I was extremely bullish on Bitcoin dominance over a year ago, when Bitcoin was trading under $30,000, we are at the same stage now where it is time to start keeping an eye out for a potential reversal, in my opinion. When it comes, I expect our major alt season to begin and expect Bitcoin dominance to see sub 40% levels once more. Absolutely spot on. In fact, I'm going to heart that and repost it right meow. And he's right here, that because history is going to rhyme with itself. That's what is almost certainly going to happen. And so we are at that stage, and this is where they're getting cocky, but we're at that stage where you should be looking for a reversal. Based on historic precedent, you should absolutely expect that. And alts are going to rally, and you will see Bitcoin dominance plummet. These people, they're kind of just insufferable. These freaking people. All right, so now let's take a look at this one here. Why XRP still relevant over the years? Billionaire Mike Novogratz identifies major factor. That was a headline from just several days ago here. And they were referencing comments from him on a newer podcast. So check this out. Billionaire investor Mike Novogratz recently highlighted the major factor that has kept XRP relevant over the years. Despite his initial skepticism, Novogratz has come to recognize the resilience of the XRP army and the important role of a community plays in sustaining the value of a crypto asset. Notably, the billionaire's latest mention of XRP came up during an episode of the Galaxy Brains podcast, where host Alex Thorne first brought up Ethereum's declining performance against Bitcoin. Yeah, and by the way, I watched that entire podcast. It went on for almost an hour, and it was interesting. He was on with Dan Moorhead, and it's just fascinating to see their takes. And plus, they've been in crypto for a very long time, just to hear some of the stories and things they've been through. But as far as XRP, my God, he's been disastrously wrong. But hey, some credit, not total credit, but some credit for coming around a little bit, even though he still doesn't get it. It's more like he's acknowledging, hey, I don't get it, but those people like it, so there. And you know what? That's a step in the right direction. And that's actually the right way to approach things. Even if you think something doesn't make sense, it doesn't matter if the rest of the world does. If the rest of the world says it makes sense and we like it and we want it, that's what actually matters. Anyway, check this out. Notably, Mike Novogratz had previously been skeptical of XRP's lasting power, primarily because Ripple owns a significant portion of the token supply. Yeah, and so I've talked about that before, and that's just a silly thing to be worried about, because in terms of supply increase, it's not like it's particularly like I'm talking about circulating supply. It's not that different from many other coins. It's about a 6% increase per year. There are other coins that have higher and some a little bit lower, and it's pretty normal though. There's nothing weird about that. But anyway, he conceded that that he underestimated the XRP army, the community of XRP proponents. The billionaire acknowledged that XRP has remained relevant because of its passionate user base, which has actively defended and promoted the token over the years. He compared the army to Bitcoin's community, recognizing that both play a major role in maintaining their respective assets' valuations. Okay, so folks, this is why I wanted to highlight this. I'm glad that he understands that community actually does matter. That's true. There's definitely tons of truth to that. But he's missing something more core than that. Why is there a community around XRP? Why? I mean, I can't speak for everybody listening, but I have suspicions. Maybe it's because XRP is functionally useful. Maybe it's because the technology does what Satoshi Nakamoto wanted Bitcoin to be able to do, but it can't. But XRP can. Maybe it's something like that. Like, it's really just great for payments. And it's being adopted. How about all this? And you could go way more in depth than that, but just at a very base level. So like, the point is, there's a community because of the attributes that the cryptocurrency has. Because of the attributes of the XRP ledger. It's not like community just randomly decided something, therefore, even though it's a crap coin, it just still exists. That's not how this works. There's a reason that XRP has always been in the top 10 coins by market cap for its entire existence. There's a reason the XRP army just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And he still is missing that very crucial piece. But at least he's not Pierre Rochard. So things could be worse. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.